Tonight we're gonna have a fun kick down.
Welcome back to the Tip Man Podcast, where we know a little bit about a lot and a lot about a little bit. All right, so today is WEF Global Leaders for Tomorrow 2003 graduates, class of 2003. And we are not going to fool around. We're going to get straight into it. So, first one up, this is going to be 14 out of the 102 graduates. First up is Thomas Crampton. He's a PR executive who has worked on lots of WEF connected projects, including the Commons Project. Which Commons Project is a global project from public, private, and nonprofit sectors to build a tamper-resistant identification system to collect, store, and share personal health information. Founded by the World Economic Forum in 2019 with the money from the Rockefeller Foundation. To create the digital tamper-resistant validation systems that can't be avoided or worked around. It providentially came as a ready-made solution just in time for the global introduction of vaccine passports in 2021. So yeah, there's that. Per 2021, works as PR manager for Greenlight Bioscience. Is that all they got on him? Let's see. A little bit about him. He's got, says in January 2021, he started leading corporate affairs, including marketing, communications, PR, and government affairs, i.e. lobbyism, for Greenlight Biosciences, a biotech company focused on cutting-edge RNA research, design, and manufacturing. Before that, he was a journalist for the New York Times, an executive at Edelman, and a global principal of Ogilvy Consulting. Greenlight is applying RNA technology to human therapeutics, including COVID-19 vaccine candidates, animal health, and plant health. So they're applying the RNA technology to your vaccines, or at least to the candidates, to animal health and plant health, crop protection. His role is to promote these projects with investors, partners, regulators, customers, and the general public. Yeah, this fuckhead. All right, so we're going to go to the next one. Let's see. Espen Barth Eid is a Norwegian politician. He attended the 2013 Bilderberg while he was Norway's Minister of Foreign Affairs. Let's see if they got anything else on it. Nope. That was pretty much it, other than the long list of Davos meetings that he went to. Germany, Munich, Switzerland. Went to the one in UK. He's a member of the European Leadership Network, Stockholm International Peace Research Institute, and a global member, Global Leader for Tomorrow in 2003, and a part of the Norwegian Labour Party. Attended 2013 Bilderberg No, we already mentioned that. As the Norwegian Minister of Foreign Affairs. Let's go to the next globalist cuck. Frederick Henriksen, heir to the Danish throne, Crown Prince of Denmark. He is the elder son of Queen Margaret II and Prince Henrik. I ain't gonna go through his fucking career. All you need to know is he was a graduate of the 2003 class. Next up, we got Greg Hunt. Greg Hunt is an Australian politician who has been Minister for Health from January 2017 until May 2022. Since March 2020, Hunt had oversight over the Australian government's actions in the COVID-19 deep event. What is the deep event? It says here, COVID-19 is a structural deep event unparalleled in its ambition to change society. It began for most people in the early 2020s, early 2020 when they heard that the severe respiratory disease had emerged near a wet market in Wuhan, where we all found out that that was some bullshit. I had my suspicions from the jump, because I don't trust none of these motherfuckers. So we got caused by a virus labeled SARS-CoV-2. I ain't gonna go too far into it. I'll start getting in the weeds with that deep dive. Start going off on it, and I gotta stay focused. Stay focused. He worked as a director of strategy at the World Economic Forum 2000 and 2001. He was selected global leader for tomorrow in 2003. In November 2020, he was pictured with Klaus Schwab. Klaus Schwab's book, The Great Reset, in his ministerial bookshelf. There are several other signs that he was groomed and helped forward by deep state forces. In February 2016, Hunt was named Best Minister in the World by a panel established by Thomas Reuters. Not an accomplishment, man. These people give themselves rewards. How narcissistic, huh? Let's see. See what else he's got on him. Spouse is Paula Lindsay. Member, we know that. Interests is McKinsey and Company. If you don't know these motherfuckers, you need to look them up. Pat Bet David actually broke down McKinsey and Company way better than what I could. Yeah, he did a deep dive on that one. Breaking down how crazy it is for McKinsey and Company and the corruption, the control, all that shit. Let's see. Next up we have, what is that, Jirki Katainen? Triple Bilderberg? There he is, that globalist cuck. Is a Finnish politician who was the European Commission's vice president for jobs, growth, investment, and competitiveness from 2014 until 2019. Lieutenant was previously Prime Minister of Finland from 2011 to 2014 and chairman of the National Coalition Party from 2004 to 2014. He was succeeded by Alexander Stubb as chairman of Finland's National Coalition Party. After stepping down as Prime Minister, he was elected as European Commission Vice President in July 2014. He was selected selected a young leader by the World Economic Forum in 03 and 05. At the end of '08, the Financial Times named him the best finance minister in Europe. Yeah, I bet. Bet they did. All right, on to the next one. We got Ruth Kelly. Ruth Kelly is a Labor MP, worked for the Tony Blair and Gordon Brown, then over to HSBC, which is a proud partner of the World Economic Forum. Serving as a member of parliament for Bolton West from 1997 until she stood down in 2010. Previously, she served as Secretary of State for Transport, Secretary of State for Communities and Local Government, Minister of Women and Equality, the Secretary of State for Education and Skills, serving under both Gordon Brown and Tony Blair. After politics, she was rewarded with a job for the bank HSBC. Let's see. Like, she looked like a feminist. Y'all seen that shit? Tell me she don't look like a feminist from the from the 70s and 80s. Yeah, she looked like one of those ones pushing that damn narrative. It's the patriarchy. Bunch of bullshit. Next up, we got William Lewis, corporate media executive, journalist, if you want to call him that. Is a British media executive and was formerly chief executive of Dow Jones and Company, proud partner of the World Economic Forum, and publisher of the Wall Street Journal. Earlier in his career, he was known as a journalist and then editor. Yeah, but he was. Let's see. While editor at the Daily Telegraph, Lewis led the team that broke the story of the MP's expenses scandal, which led to the resignations of 6 government ministers and the Speaker of the House of Commons, Michael Martin. And if he's involved, if this schmuck is involved with the World Economic Forum, it was probably a setup. And to the creation of the Independent Parliamentary Standards Authority. From September 2010 to July 2011, Lewis worked as general manager of the newspaper publisher News International, playing a role in the company's response to its phone hacking exposure. He attended Davos in 2020. He's a member of the Associated Press. That is not an accomplishment in the eyes of the regulars. Next up, we got Paul Meyer. Paul Meyer is a co-founder and chief executive officer of the Commons Project. What is the Commons Project? I don't know, so that's why I've been looking. Is a global project from public, private, and non-profit sectors. Okay, so I think that was the same one we seen earlier. Yeah, that was the same one we seen earlier. Which has built a worldwide interoperable system of digital immunization authentication tools. Vaccine passports, right. Former senior fellow of the Markle Foundation. Is a New York-based private foundation established in 1927 by American industrial and financier John Markle and his wife Mary. Its focus is technology, healthcare, and national security, which close ties to the intelligence services. It is a suspected CIA front organization. I would not doubt it. Let's see, that's all they got on him. Yeah, that's it. He's tied to the COVID-19 deep event also. Have been selected a global leader. by the World Economic Forum in 2003 in the continuation of Young Global Leaders. He stayed part of the young leader community until 2020, until he graduated. He went on to do more unspeakable and elevate his corruption. Uh, it's like being a what they call him a courier for the mob, and then get elevated into the family where you can sit at the table. These motherfuckers, bro. He has worked in several projects of interest to the dominating corporations in the WEF, the WEF, and in several communities and foundations connected to the intelligence community. Corrupt. We get it. All right, I'm gonna butcher this name. Kyriakos, Kyriakos Mitsotakis, double Bilderberg politician, active in discriminating against non-recipients of COVID-19 injections. I was right. He's one of these cooks that was calling you a dumbass for not taking the gene therapy. Joke's on you, fucker. Collaborated in imposing a COVID lockdown, which he did not himself keep. No shit. In February 2021, he was an early proponent of vaccine passports. Yes, that was the whole plan. The whole plan was for for the shit to fear, put people in fear in order for them to actually comply with all that bullshit that they didn't even comply with. All lies, man. All lies. Mabel Van Orange, abnormal, influential spook, helped destroying Yugoslavia, lover of drug kingpin and friend of the royals Klaus Bruinsma, burned publicly by an AIVD agent, the General Intelligence and Security Services, or Algemeen, is the intelligence and security agency of the Netherlands. Okay. So she got caught. I'm not surprised. They get arrogant as fuck, thinking they're untouchable, until somebody actually stands on principle and goes after their ass. So we have, what is she? Mabel Van Orange, aka Princess Mabel of Orange Nassau, and Mabel Wiss Smit is a Dutch deep state fixer, starting her adult life with a relationship with drug lord Klaus Bruinsma, who renamed himself Frans van Arkel in 1975. Was the Dutch main drug runner. Dutch main drug lord during 1970s and 80s. His main drug of export was hashish. While he doesn't get much scrutiny, primarily for being idolized as old school classic mafia. She moved on to become prominent in the Western efforts during the wars of Yugoslavia, for then to become a leader in the networks created by billionaire George Soros, like the European Council on Foreign Relations and the Open Society Foundations. She then married Prince Friso of Orange Nassau, thus becoming the sister-in-law of King Willem Alexander of the Netherlands. Friso died in a 2013 skiing accident, or was it? I don't know. Never looked into it. But she benefits from the accident, right? Accident. An unusual alliance of AIVD agents, journalists, and Wikipedia admins have hinted she has, in fact, hidden a far more secretive role, being an intelligence asset. So she is corrupt as they come. She is a member of European Council on Foreign Relations, Netherlands Deep State, Sigrid Rousing Trust, 0305 graduating member. Next up, we have Samantha Power. Developed angle of responsibility to protect to create justification for wars. Huh. Oh, did she? And they say the world would be a peaceful place if women was in charge, huh? Huh? Matriarchy ain't sounding too goddamn good right now, huh? Let's see what she got on. Samantha Jane Power is a U.S. deep state operative. She was ambassador to the UN for President Obama. That tells me a lot, a whole lot. From 2013 to 2017, before that, she worked on Obama's National Security Council. Oh, go figure. Where she played the instrumental role in pushing for U.S. open intervention in Libya in 2011 under the guise of protecting human rights and preventing genocide. Instead, they destroyed human rights and created genocide. Drone strikes. Hell, they dropped so much damn bombs in Obama's presidency, they ran out of bombs. She is married to Cass Sustain, who is a U.S. deep state functionary. He has defended the U.S. government's official narrative about the events of September 11th. Oh, really? And the necessity of the U.S. COVID lockdown. In 2008, he authored a paper about conspiracy theories, which he claimed that belief. Oh, I gotta see this. Which claimed that belief in such theories was linked to violence. He advocates for the control of society through subversion or subversive means of influence, nudging, while allowing people to continue believing that their choices are actually their own. Here's a quote from him. Once we know that people are human and have some Homer Simpson in them, then there's a lot that can be done to manipulate them. Oh man, they've watered down this they watered down conspiracy theories, which is really just a free thinker, someone that can take uh like a 10th man approach to it. 10th man 10 man rule is you got 10 people in a room, all of them have the same information, 9 of them agree that it's one thing. The 10th man is obligated to come up with a different theory. It's a free thinker. You have the same information, but you have a different thought on what it means. She is currently an administrator of the United States Agency for International Development, a regime change outfit. Quote from her. Quote, today, the foundations are active on every continent, striving to promote vibrant and tolerant democracies with strong civic institutions and justice and health systems that work. It is rare that a week goes by in my new incarnation as United Nations Ambassador and I mean this, where I don't meet an ambassador to the United Nations, a head of state or minister, a journalist or civil society advocate who didn't either graduate from the Central European University, received an Open Society grant, or once run an Open Society office. That's how much George has populated the planet with his dedication to human rights and human dignity, anti human rights and anti human dignity. I'm gonna have to give you a little spell correction on that one. They spelled that shit all wrong. All right, so next up we got Richard Werner. He's a German economist who exposed the WEF's Global Leaders for Tomorrow project. Let's see, activities in 1995. He advanced the concept of quantitative easing in Japan, defined as an expansion in credit creation, published in the leading daily newspaper, the Nikkei, on the 2nd of September of 1995. Richard Werner was selected Global Leader 2003. Reports that the program was closed down and rebooted as a more controllable group because there started to be too many people asking difficult questions in the forum. Werner was a professor of international banking at the University of Southampton for a decade. The film Princes of Yen, Central Banks and the Transformation of the Economy, based on Werner's book, reveals how Japanese society was transformed to suit the agenda and desire of powerful interest groups, and how citizens were kept entirely in the dark about this. Werner was a visiting researcher at the Bank of Japan during the 90s crash, during which the stock market dropped by 80% and house prices dropped by 84%. Hmm. It sounded like he didn't like what the hell they was doing. That's why I say a lot of some of these people that they elect to graduate. Some of them turn it down, but some of them also realize what they got themselves into, and actually change their minds and wanting to be a part of it, or even be associated with them. So guys like this start to expose the project. Let's see. Next up, last two. Next up is Jeffrey Zients. Let's see. Not too much on him. Member of the Council of Foreign Relations, members 3. What's members 3? Oh, okay, that's part of the Council of Foreign Relations. Let's see what they did have. White House COVID-19 response coordinator. I had to do a little bit something on him. Nothing on him. Ethan Zuckerman is an American media scholar, blogger, and internet activist. He was the director of the MIT Center for Civic Media and associate professor of the practice in media arts and sciences at MIT. Would not be surprised if he was funded by George Soros. All right, that will conclude our video for today under the Global Leaders for Tomorrow class of 2003. Appreciate y'all following along. Shout out to my 35 followers on Rumble. Y'all the dope. But other than that, like, sub, share, and I will see y'all in our next video. Peace.